Welcome to The Walking Dead, the officially unofficial podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 15, entitled East. What do you think of this episode?
You know, I was kind of conflicted last night when we were doing the live watch, but after I've watched it this morning, I feel like The Walking Dead has really fallen into some of its badder, worse instincts and habits.
Okay.
Like the entire conceit of this episode is horseshit.
From what angle?
Like if you ask me, do I believe that Daryl would go after Carol and not listen to anyone and be that selfish? Yeah, even this far in his development, I think that he would still do something like that and abandon the larger group. Okay. Everyone else going after him, like you're essentially sending 6 people out for one person in a time of war, and they all know it. It's like, do I believe that Rick would want to do that? But I just felt like there was, you need someone like Abraham, like, to grab him and like, look, soldier, this is a fucking war. This isn't, Rick and Carol's playtime anymore. Get your shit together.
Right.
Like if Morgan wants to go out as a load, I guess that's what I thought.
Well, one small correction: Daryl is not going after Carol. Daryl is going after the killer of Denise.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
I'm sorry.
Really, they're going out for 2 separate people, and I feel like it all falls on Rick. Rick should know better, right? Like
But I think if Rick had just been like, had not wanted to, you had to have the tension of him wanting to go get his people and be concerned with them, but you also needed to have maybe Abraham or Maggie, who seems to be the de facto leader now, say you can't do that. You've got something larger here to protect, and there's not that really. Glenn says something. We need our numbers, but he's also the one leading the charge. I mean, you think of who's left to defend Alexandria. Maggie,
Abraham,
who's pregnant, Abraham and Sasha,
Carl, who's a kid.
Carl
is a badass, but a kid.
You've got way more of your fighters on the outside than you got on the inside.
Right.
It's just, it's dumb.
I'm with you. Dumb. It's a big mistake. And I feel like as the leader, Rick should recognize that it's a mistake, and he shouldn't go out at the very least.
Yeah,
he should stay back.
I think he should want to, but someone should call him, and maybe Abraham has to cold cock him, knock him out to keep him in there.
He should cold cock himself. Like, he should be smart enough to understand this, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you. That part really bugged me on the second watch. I get Daryl. Like, Daryl goes out. He wants to, I get the impression that he wants to handle this before Tara gets back, so that he'll have some piece of the puzzle to put together for Tara.
Yeah.
I got the bastard who did this. But
yes. It's for very selfish reasons, but I do believe that Daryl still has enough of the untamed Daryl left in him that he couldn't see past that.
And you're not going to stop him.
No.
Right?
So you got to let him go, but like the fact that everybody is out there just seemed like, we need some hostages and we need to make this, these saviors a big splash, so we'll just have all this stuff happen simultaneously,
right,
to maximize the potential. But I don't know, man. I thought it was,
and a little stuff that's spoilery that I'm not going to talk about. Maybe they're trying to mix it up a little bit.
Could be
for things that we know are coming up as an audience.
Should be a pretty lively spoiler section.
Yeah,
but then so like here again, it's going to be another nitpicker's delight, because once I started thinking like, oh, this is kind of horseshit, I started noticing, characters having very loud arguments while they're walking through what they now know. I mean, they're not under any illusion. Like, Glenn is especially making the point that these people know way more than us. We thought that we had the upper hand. We don't. But he's still like, they're not they're not trying to sneak through the forest. They're asking to be ambushed. And again, it'd be one thing if they didn't know the saviors are out there, but we're halfway through this like war that Rick has declared, and I feel like that's really dumb. But they need it to happen, and also like, you get absurd stuff like people getting to drop on Daryl when he is sneaking through the woods. Like, can you? Does that mean that these guys are like better than Daryl? In which case, I think our group is fucked, man.
Right, because Daryl's one of the best at that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I do want to also just say, just sort of gloss over that stuff and say, you know what, The Walking Dead is what The Walking Dead is, and I have to either accept it or give up. And I don't know. I hate to nitpick over the same things over and over, but they keep making the same mistakes. So.
And it goes back to, like, you know, we always, when The Walking Dead is really good, it's like, is this a mistake? Did they just kind of happen upon these variables that put them on an arc that's interesting and compelling without being artificial? Because it's an episode like this that makes me think, man, just when I thought that they had kind of really, you know, had a firm hand on the wheel and they had the ship plotted in the right direction, and there's no excuse for it. There's none of the plots that were coming up to this point. Like, I was, you know, you listen to last week's episode. I wasn't like, oh, this is crazy what Carol's doing. Like, I'm okay. Maybe it sets up an interesting thing, but I don't know. I feel like this was just self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the show itself. But having said that, I still maintain it's hard for me to believe that this show is going to be anything but compelling next week.
Yeah, I would hope that's the case.
I mean, you know, if nothing else, you've got essentially every one of the characters that we care about, save Rick and Carl and Judith, who are kind of up for grabs.
Mm-hmm. They're all kind of in danger at the moment.
In enemy hands. So that alone should be pretty compelling to resolve. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about this episode. Yeah, I think they're making some of the same mistakes, but it wasn't by far the worst I've seen of The Walking Dead, but it wasn't nearly the best either.
No, it's just disappointing because I thought maybe that we just wouldn't see an episode like this again.
Yeah. Oh well, are we ready for the feedback or for the
recap? So we start the cold open with what would you call this? Like a Mad Max cartage of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
This Sonic the Carol the Hedgehog mobile going down the road, and there's like very faded out voiceovers of Carol ordering someone to come out, and there's yelling, and there's gunshots, and there's transmission fluid and blood leaking all over the fucking place. Then we go through the credits, we come back, and we see Carol sewing a sleeve on what I presume is one of Tobin's very large Carhartt outerwear jackets.
Yeah, she's got, I think, what we've seen Tobin wearing before.
And she's commandeering this to sew what I think is an Uzi into the sleeve. I don't know how that actually works. But
I don't think it can actually work. But
that's the gun that's laying out, and that's the type of gun it seems like she's shooting when she reveals her trick. But you know,
and then they conspicuously never actually show it dropping out of her sleeve or anything, or her.
No, she fires
like
it from
having it
inside the sleeve.
Right. Every sleeve gun I have ever seen is like this tiny little one-shot thing.
Well, it has to be.
Right. By necessity, because big guns don't fit in sleeves.
Like if you had an Uzi or a Tech 9 or something, and you cut that's what I'm saying. If you cut if you cut the grip and didn't have a clip in it, that might work.
Maybe. Yeah.
But she shoots like 30 rounds. I mean, I don't know.
Unless it's one of those automatic handguns, but then the clip for that is
that's what I'm saying.
Extremely long too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not there yet, but
whatever.
Yeah.
She's also packing a go bag. You always hear those doomsday preppers talking about. It's got beet cookies.
Yep.
And some
protein
rations and stuff like that. I don't know. It looks like maybe some fire starting crap.
Mm-hmm.
When Tobin comes in, starts talking a mess about Denise, and Carol does what the rest of the audience does and completely tunes him out. She just goes into her happy place, and apparently she makes love to him because she wakes up in the middle of the night and gets out of bed and sneaks out.
Is there an implication of lovemaking?
Well,
I mean, I guess waking up in the middle of the night with someone,
when the characters go to embrace, and then the camera just pans down and to the right onto the bed, and the next scene you see her waking up at night, and there's a blank spot by Tobin. She's either just been standing in the corner, low these many hours, or she slept with the man.
Okay.
And I threw up in my mouth. I threw up in my mouth when the realization hit me, but I don't think there's any way to escape the realization.
Yeah, I was looking for a way out.
But she sneaks out to the tune of Johnny Cash's "It's All Over," which essentially is him just singing "It's All Over," which I'm fine with, you know.
Yeah, good song.
We see that the politics of the town are such that they decided that Sasha and Rosita should do guard duty together. That seems like a bad idea.
Well, it makes me wonder how much these people are talking about the interpersonal relationships.
But
I'm not sure that anybody other than those three know about it.
They don't know that in a community this small, they don't know that Abraham has moved out.
I don't know.
And that he's staying now in Sasha's house.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
don't know.
Well, here's my point. You know who does know? You know who does know? Sasha.
Sure.
And you know who rearranged her guard shift because she didn't want to fuck around with Abraham while he's still with Rosita? Sasha. You know who doesn't fuck around with her guard duty to get away from, offending the woman who she screwed over? Sasha. It makes me not like Sasha. Especially when her and Abraham are being cute right in front of Rosita while she's, like, shooting eye daggers at both of them.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really read too much into what's happening in this scene, but they're just switching up. It's not like Sasha said, "Hey, Abraham, I can't deal with this Rosita stare. Come help me out."
No,
I
I'm
felt
not
like
saying
it was
that.
just swapping of the guard.
I know, but what I'm saying is Sasha has switched her guard duty around out of her own sensitivity before. So she could do it again. She chooses not to.
Okay.
That's like, I just feel like that's a dick move. Like, if I stole your girlfriend,
right? But it's
I would try to, like, just out of deference, I'd try to rearrange our podcasting schedules so you don't have to see me in the studio.
Sure, right. But at some point, I don't know.
At some point, you're right. They all have to get along, but this is like literally days afterwards. And Rosita, you can tell she's like Superman style laser beams out of her eyes.
How much? I just question how much she knows about Rosita's schedule. Like, does she know this is going to be a problem until it is? Like,
she's an idiot if she doesn't.
Why? Because
she knows they were lovers in their increment.
What? Yeah, but no. It's not. You're arguing points I'm not making.
Okay, what is the point that you were making?
The point I'm making is, does she know that Sasha, that Rosita is actually going to be there on guard at the same time she is?
Do they not know?
I don't know how much they know of other people's schedules. Like, that's the thing.
It's a community of 50 people.
Right.
And there's not that many standing guard. I find it hard to believe that they don't know each other's schedules. They have to have it posted somewhere.
But she just changed her schedule. Like, I don't know. I don't know is the question. You're like wanting to get all up in arms about this, and I'm saying we just don't know. The situation.
I know enough to know that this is bullshit. If you don't, then that's fine. But
I don't think you do either. But you'll call bullshit on it anyway. Whatever.
I've already done. Moving on. Where was I?
We skipped over the.
No, I haven't
didn't
skipped
we skip
over anything.
The Carl thing?
Nope, I haven't skipped over anything.
Okay.
Carl inspects a pistol.
Yeah.
That has a very crudely drawn turkey leg with a Spider-Man web going down its side.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Or maybe it's a fish with like fishing line wrapped around it.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe a
upside
baseball
down bottle
bat with some kind of wire in it. I really, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Could be a dick pic. I mean,
you get the impression that this is a gun they got from the Saviors, though.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Glenn and Maggie are getting all washed up. And our oohing and ahhing last night of Maggie's ass crack being spackled. Because it's like they just kept on panning down, and her lower back just wouldn't end. And we made the joke, if you weren't on the live show, that Greg Nicotero had whipped up a crack prosthetic, so we didn't have to see her ass crack. Her body is like covered in bruises.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up last night. I don't know why.
It's a harsh world out there.
Yeah. Do you think that has something to do with her neonatal, prenatal difficulties later in the episode?
It can't help. That's for sure.
And she sustained all that stuff in the adventure she had with the Alicia Witt, Paula, I guess. From the 2 episodes ago.
We never really saw much damage occurring to her, but
yeah, I mean,
somewhere along
Carol
the line.
said that they didn't do anything to him, but that's a lot of bruising and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's see what else. Daryl is deciding to swing a leg over his newly liberated bike. Abraham relieves Rosita, and they play around with a cigar. And again, Rosita's throwing up in her hat in a corner, but that's not a problem because guard schedules and whatnot. Rick and Michonne sleep in. Michonne wakes up, immediately tucks into an apple she keeps by the bedside.
Yeah.
Really keeping this apple a day keeps the doctor away business serious now that Denise is dead.
Maybe they're out of toothpaste. They're trying to get rid of morning breath. I don't know, man, but
Maybe that's instead of smashing a Red Bull, you just as soon as you open your eyes, you start eating an apple because it's a little known fact. It's impossible to fall asleep while you're eating an apple.
Is that true?
As long as you keep eating, you won't oversleep. I don't know. It's a bizarre scene.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's only bizarre if you really want to go after it, right? Like, what? Why not eat an apple when you wake up? But it is weird.
What is with you saying it's only bizarre if you want to get into it? Who have you ever known anyone to keep food by the bedside to immediately consume when they wake up?
No, but I have a glass of water by the bedside.
That is not freaky behavior.
I'm just saying.
Like, having an alarm
possible.
clock is not weird. Having a stuffed armadillo would be weird. Like, there's lots of things that are normal and things that are weird. What the hell is going on in this podcast?
It's strange, but I don't understand the significance of it.
Oh, I don't either.
There's something we have email about it.
So there is storytelling significance in that it gave them an excuse to talk about how this is evidence that the hilltop is maintaining their agreement to keep him fed.
Right. So it's conveniently shoved in there so they can have a conversation. But
Very convenient.
There might also be some symbolism here that we have an emailer who wrote in.
Oh, okay.
Later on.
Some symbolic shoving in.
Yeah.
in lieu of the real shoving in that Rick wants to do.
But, I mean, the conversation is about, how they're determined to keep what they have. And it seems like both of them are on board with this, which, makes the issues bigger when Rick decides, I'm going to abandon this community that we have.
I know.
Michonne decides, I'm going to abandon this community that we have.
When they up front talk about, we're all fearing about an imminent attack.
Yeah.
It's weird, but at least they're eating apples. Maggie's explaining, this is something I like. They're spread out and hide to armory strategy. She's got the guns, and they're distributing to all the guard posts instead of keeping them in the central armory, which they niftily exploited with the Saviors. They're also talking about hiding guns so that, like, even if they're overwhelmed, that our people know to get them and the other people won't. That's all smart stuff. Mm-hmm. Daryl comes and charges the gate and lets himself out, and everyone decides they need to stop him. Who is it? Is it Glenn and Michonne get up in a van and try to go after him, and Abraham wants him to make room for his freckled ass, but Rosita says, fuck that. Hopefully I can go out there and die. And also, I know where Daryl is. I'm the only one that would.
Yeah.
And I like that Glenn at least says, hey, man, we need to keep numbers here. But whatever, he still takes off of three of their best fighters.
Yep.
Rick then gets hit with the bad news that Carol's gone. She apparently snuck outside the wall under cover of darkness and then stole a car from the outer defense cars that they have all set up porcupine style.
Yeah, Daryl's timing on this is real bad because they haven't quite found the note from Carol yet. Or, well, Tobin has, but he hasn't quite brought it to the community yet. So going out to find Daryl is kind of excusable, right? You take a couple people, you go find Daryl. That's all well and good. Then you take a few more people to go find Carol. That's where you start to run into problems for me.
Yeah, I just don't know that you take a few people to find Daryl because, number one, if Daryl doesn't want to be found, he won't be found. Like, we were talking about
send Rosita after him.
The futility of trying to find Daryl Dixon in the woods when he's got a motorcycle that's got off-road tires and you've got a fucking A-Team van.
I think what should have happened here is Michonne should have noped out when Rosita said, I know where he is. She should have been like, okay, you two go find him. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah. Or, like, I mean, in times of war, I just feel like, okay, this guy went AWOL. We can't afford anybody else going after him.
Right.
Like, that would have been a valid decision to make. And
yeah,
maybe if somebody puts up a little bit more of a fight, but and I get it that everybody wants to go get Daryl, but you got to do the adult thing every once in a while.
Yeah.
So Rick gets hit with the bad news. Rick and Morgan decide to go out and look for her, even though she says not to. Mm-hmm. And at this point, do they know that? Yeah, Rick knows that Daryl's already gone off. So he makes this decision with the full knowledge that now 6 of the town's best fighters are going to be leaving.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a mistake.
Yeah. Like
send
Carl
Morgan.
And Judith
if
are
Morgan's
here.
unwilling to kill, let Morgan go. But
yes, I would accept Morgan taking a one-man mission to go get Carol because he's going to be useless in an all-out war fight anyway.
Yeah, and what are you really going to do to stop him, right? If he gets a wild hair and just says, "I'm going," are you going to put him in his own cell?
Yeah, well, that'd be
could.
ironic.
But ultimately, yeah, he's not going to be that much help. So,
do you want to talk about the Fear the Flight mini movie? and the Asian woman's obsession with slamming the window shut on this poor teenage boy.
Sure. It's something we complained about from the jump, right? Like, I think it was first or second little episode.
Yeah. Like, what is her deal? And 15 episodes later, after she sympathizes with the kid and say, it's my fault that your, I guess, mom wasn't on the plane, she immediately slams his window shut again.
Slaps his in-flight drink out of his hand, closes his tray. Don't take advantage of any of the perks of being on an airplane.
You keep that seat in an upright lock position, young man.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's such a weird quirk.
It feels like they're going for something thematic, like don't think about the outside world here, but why?
Yeah, don't look at the clouds. That's, she's going to shoot him in the head. That's like, you want him to look at the clouds then. You want him to be distracted.
We got an email from Matt questioning a couple of things. At what point does the plane from The Walking Dead Flight 462 crash into the ship in Fear the Walking Dead?
Pilot episode, or premiere episode.
Yep.
They're on a collision
course. Push
course.
them off the boat. Or B, show up as wreckage in a Virginia forest in Walking Dead despite the obvious continuity problems. I wouldn't have a huge problem with that.
If they don't tie in at all, ever.
If it's just
this is not compelling enough to... I mean, I honestly don't... The Walking Dead does not need the lead on from Fear the Walking Dead.
Maybe they're going to spin off another series in the 9 days that they skipped.
The Walking Dead?
In the 9 days they skipped in Fear the Walking Dead.
Uh-huh.
Where they actually show us the stuff we wanted to see in Fear the Walking Dead.
Maybe. Maybe that's why we didn't see that stuff. This plane, that there's a whole division of Marines about to liberate the city, and this plane just lands right on top of them, taking them all out. Anyway, Carol is driving her Mad Max Porcupine car. She gets waylaid by some savior goons. The way they filmed the lead up to this was a bit Monty Python, where Sir Lancelot, is it Sir Lancelot? That's storming the wedding, and you see these guards with like dumb looks on their face, and it keeps on getting closer and closer, and then you see him charging far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it felt fun, like unintentionally funny to me. And especially the way they filmed her. Carol's head looks like one of those thumb things that they do with like Thumb Wars, where they put the eyes and nose and mouth on a thumb. Like it looks like she's got this enormous head with these itty bitty facial features in the middle of it. I don't know whether it's a walleye lens they shot it with, but I was about to laugh out loud when I was watching it.
Yeah, I have not liked some of the editing choices over the last couple episodes. Like,
there's another one that's about to get weird.
I really hate that we'll get to, but it has to do with this Carol thing.
Yeah, so they drive by and disable her car with a rifle. They take out her tire. Looks like they did some pretty good damage to the coolant system or the engine.
Yep.
They order her out very creepily. They sound like they know exactly where Alexandria is, and they know about its defenses, and they know how far up the road it is. They know a lot more about Alexandria than we were led to believe.
Right, which I think is smart on the part of the writers to let us know that they have people watching, right?
Yes.
Not and maybe not just now that the attack has happened, but maybe potentially before the attack happened. Like, who knows how long they've known and what they've known.
And they're just biding their time. That's scary.
Right.
So they said they're on their way to Alexandria. What the fuck do you think they're going to do?
Knock on the door?
5 of them.
Knock on the door. I mean, that's all they can do, really.
Like, hey, assholes, we know you're killing our guys. Stop it.
Maybe it's a threat. Yeah,
because
maybe
they got
it's
1 or 2 guys with guns. The rest of them have spears, which kind of gives you a hint about maybe Rick's raid, if it didn't annihilate their threat, it at least took out the majority of their armory. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And we do know that they have at least some ammunition now. They have a handgun's worth of bullets, at the very least.
And whatever the guy shot from his rifle.
Which I'm not... Did he even get a shot off? Or
not
was it all Carol?
But he did spray down her car
right.
good, yeah.
Yes. So at least a couple clips.
Carol tries her hyperventilating trick, but I'm wondering, is it actually a trick, or is she having a stress response that she's fighting through to kill these guys?
Right. That's a fair question. I don't know that I like this version of Carol, because I don't know why she would pretend here. I guess it worked for her last time.
Yeah, I mean,
it worked for her.
I think I don't mind the pretend thing, because it's, you got a bunch of asshole dudes. You want them to underestimate you so you can get in close and get the kill shot.
If she's not pretending, I have a big problem with Carol as a character.
Because it's weird the way she's playing it. I'm not quite sure if she is pretending, or if this is or maybe she's using her stress reaction to sell the ruse. I don't know. There's something. going on here.
I don't know. It's something about, like I've talked about in previous episodes, where Carol's gone too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
If she literally can't handle the stress of being in a dangerous situation now, that's not Carol.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of her position, her stance on killing, that doesn't feel like Carol. They've gone too far in the other direction. So I have to hope that this is a ruse, like it was last time.
She needs Morgan to teach her the Aikido stuff so she can get her shit together.
I guess, yeah.
Get all her shit together and put it in a box.
Yeah.
So she completely ventilates them, except for, I think there's 5 guys. She kills 3. There's 1 that's left alive, and she's out of bullets. And he's going to creep up to her car. He still, after he watched her deftly take down these guys, approaches far too cockily. And she is able to stand up and take one of these sharpened broomstick and just skewer him like a wild boar through the car.
Yeah.
Which was pretty badass. And then it leaves just the loudmouth asshole left as she goes and just kills with a pistol. Maggie, back at Alexandria, is telling...
That guy's going to come back as a walker.
He is.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him.
Maggie's going to tell Enid that things just got better. Why did I put this on my notes? I don't understand my own notes.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just wrote that Maggie's telling Enid that things just got better, and I don't know what that means because
they have this pickle conversation. Is this?
This is the pickle conversation. Oh, no, things just got busy. This is a typo because there are now 5 badasses down, and she's gonna have to take a guard shift. And Enid says, "You know what? Take this jar of pickles, prop up your feet, stepmom."
Yeah.
Which I think is their relationship now. I'm gonna go take your guard shift. That's cool. Enid seems like she could take care of herself. She can at least provide eyes.
Sure.
And tell people when things are coming.
And she, comments on what we've been commenting about Maggie for the last few episodes. She looks tired as fuck.
Yeah.
She's looking ragged.
Yeah.
So give her a couple hours off.
Yeah, no kidding. She's eating, sleeping, and zombie fighting for 2 now.
Yep.
Morgan uses the advantage of Rick being trapped in the car with him to all-out Morgalize. They have this West versus East conversation that felt like Morgan was picking a fight with him for nothing.
I think it's supposed to tell us that these might not be the same people from the compound, right? Like, Morgan specifically points out, look, you guys went east, is
West.
that right?
West is where the
you guys went west to kill the saviors. These guys came from the east, or that's at least
but
where...
they haven't even got to this point yet. This is them going after... Rick says the tracks went east, right. And Morgan says... So he's like saying,
I think he's talking about the Daryl thing, right? Like, Daryl's stuff...
Oh.
The Denise stuff happened to the east. Because I think they've had a conversation about that.
But they're going after Carol. I thought they said the tracks. I thought those Carol's tracks went east.
Oh, but they haven't found them yet.
Right, so. And then so Morgan says, plus the other guys were west, which I thought he's trying to say, Rick, she's running from trying to kill people. She's going in the opposite direction to Savior.
Okay.
But
he could also be saying that, yeah.
But I didn't get it because Rick is not saying, like, we should go west and... there's again, it just seemed like Morgan's picking a fight where there is none to pick. And he asserts that what I believe isn't right because there is no right. There's just the wrong that doesn't pull you down, which I guess that's fine.
He's building up to the circular conversation here.
Yeah. But at least he's not quite as self-righteous as he was a few episodes ago because this all life is precious seemed like a doctrine of primacy to him. And now he's like, it's just, it's just another way you can live.
Right.
Back at the failed ambush point with Carol, some jackass clutches his chest and tells the guy dying outside to let it go. And then he goes and limps off into the bushes. I don't know why we even had to see this scene, honestly.
I don't know.
This guy came out of the bushes clutching his bloody chest after the Rick and Morgan scene. I would have known that, okay, this is what's happening.
There's no chance that he found some body armor along the way and is actually the guy at the barn?
I don't think so, because the other thing is this guy just disappears.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're setting something up for next episode where he goes back and tells them something. I don't know.
I don't know either. But
yeah, it was a little strange.
Yeah. But he goes and limps off in the bushes, as I mentioned, and Rick and Morgan arrive shortly after. And Rick attempts to brief his interrogation and show history on the guy dying on the ground. He's like, "Where did she go?" And the guy's like, it's kind of like sputters blood, and Rick just like, "Gurk." Dink right in the head.
Yep.
Throughout this episode, Morgan's killing zombies with simple blunt force trauma to the head.
Yeah, I don't know that I buy it.
I don't either, because I've remarked in this particular season that doesn't seem to work as well anymore. The zombies are surprisingly resilient with the whole just beating them in the head with stuff. Molten lead won't kill them.
Yeah, like I wonder. I don't know. I mean, a staff to the head's probably pretty effective in killing a human being, right?
I think you can kill a person, but the zombies, it seems like that they've decided, you know what, is the fucking brainstem. You got to get some kind of penetration into any part of the head.
As long as you can sever the spinal cord.
You think that's what he's doing? He's like snapping their neck.
But that shouldn't kill them. I mean, it could certainly disable them completely.
Which I don't think Morgan's the type that has to kill every walker. He just wants it to be not a threat anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of a stretch, but whatever.
Morgan finds a blood trail and goes off into the field. And Rick observes that perhaps they didn't end anything with the saviors. And Morgan says, "Nah, you started something," which are both right on observations.
Yeah.
Chest-clutching man comes out of the bushes, grabs Carol's rosary, and then goes after Rick and Morgan. If this leads to a plot where Morgan and Carol team up to morgalize this guy and convert him to the way of the light, I'm going to die. I'm going to jam a sharpened rosary through my eye.
I don't know how that would happen.
Well, again,
yeah, it's weird to have him just wander off.
And clearly tracking Rick and Morgan. I want desperately to know what's going on here, but we don't, unless you, as you say, the guy rustling horses in full body armor is the same guy, which I don't buy.
It didn't really seem like him.
He seems younger, thinner, and not as shot in the chest as this guy.
Yeah, a little more spry than an old man shot in his shoulders.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. So where am I at here? Yes, we are now at the train tracks where Denise died last episode, and Glenn, Rosita, and Michonne arrive. They find Dara has left his bike and kind of cloaked it with some branches and shit.
I mean, before we go too far from this, did we talk about the spear that he finds and like some of the hypothesizing you can do about that? Like,
I was going to save that to the end because it kind of it's the reason that he justified himself shooting the dude that had the spear in the end. But yeah, Rick observes in this scene that they're using a spear that he can tell is crafted by the blacksmith at the hilltop.
Right, but we've also got the indicator
Rick Grimes,
that these
expert in metallurgy.
We've also got the indicator that these may not be the people from the hilltop or the saviors because they're like based in an opposite direction, I guess. Like that's what Morgan's talking about. I
assumed that since we know the hilltop has a deal with the saviors, that the hilltop was supplying the saviors with these spears.
Right, but when you combine that with the idea that they're west and they went east.
Okay, so you think they're intending to put some confusion into the viewer to see that there might be more factions besides the hilltop and the saviors?
It seems like it to me.
I definitely think they are suggesting that as well, but I don't really want to say much until we get to the spoilers because I know a little bit too much. Anyway, so we're at the train track junction where Denise died, and Glenn argues that this is insane what they're doing, and he's absolutely right. And he says, because Rosita says maybe we shouldn't stop him. He's like, well, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe he does, and maybe we don't either. Maybe they keep learning more about us, and we keep getting jacked up, and maybe he ends up getting himself killed. And I thought that was actually great, but he doesn't follow through the logical course, which is, you know what? Fuck it, let's go back.
Right, and maybe you couldn't stop him even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Butt him in the head with your gun? And
now, after I've clearly laid out the case of this being stupid, Rosita, where do you think you went?
Right.
I'm like, okay.
I do like how stubborn Daryl is here because it shows a lot about his character that we already know, but it's just it stays faithful to that. Like, he is a stubborn person, right? He gets something in his head.
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything to change his mind, and he feels super guilty about getting Denise in this scenario in the first place. He feels like he got her killed, and then I feel like he wants, like I said at the beginning, to have something to tell Tara when she gets back.
Yes,
and that's why he's on this mission.
Yes, he does. So the next shot where Daryl shoots a warning shot at the group and Rosita's like, watch where you're shooting, asshole. He's like, I did. I'd killed you if I meant to shoot, the words of that effect.
Yeah.
And they try to talk him back, and he says, you guys shouldn't have come. Glenn says you shouldn't have left, and Glenn says you think it's your fault, and he goes, I know it is, which are fair points. If he had killed Dwight, we wouldn't be in this situation, or at least this exact situation.
Sure. Or if he hadn't let Denise go on the fucking raid with him, like there's a lot of reasons why this might be Daryl's fault.
Well, this like that one spaghetti scene with Aaron and his boyfriend turned him into a believer of finding people and helping them, and not just my group and nobody. And now I feel like he's really, really wishing that he didn't do all that because he feels like an asshole. He stuck his neck out, and look what happened.
Yep.
So again, I completely buy Daryl's motivations. It's everybody else that I have a bit of a problem with.
Yeah.
So Daryl won't come home. So Glenn's like, I think Glenn's about to pack it in. And in fact, he does. And Rosita says, you know what? I'm going with him. Why do you think Rosita goes after?
I think she feels guilty too.
Does she feel guilty, or is she just having a problem dealing with being abandoned by Abraham? Because there's a little bit of fatalism to her, I think.
There might be a fair bit of that as well.
Okay. All right. Because I was like, man, am I crazy? I don't know. Glenn and Michonne start to walk back, and they are having a very loud conversation about how they kind of just luckily fell together into a group of like-minded people. I feel like it's a little bit of a rose-tinted glasses approach, because they did have to kill a fair amount of people in their group. Like Shane, all the prisoners they fell in with. Like, a lot of people have died to get to this purity of vision,
Sure.
And he says that the world's not what we thought with the Hilltop Saviors. It's bigger. There's like, at this point, it's interesting to note that like groups like the Saviors, which I guess in Walking Dead up until now, we'd think that a group like Woodbury or a group like Terminus, eventually those groups would just fall apart. Like, you cannot sustain a group based on selfishness and survivalism only. You have to have a balance. Whereas the Saviors maybe be a case where you can weld together a group based on those principles.
Yeah, they don't seem like really good people, honestly. Seems like they're I don't know. It's
but the
tough
Paula
to
group
say.
didn't seem like they were terrible people either.
Right. Like, how did the first encounter with the Saviors was pretty shitty.
Yep.
It was on the road with Daryl and Abraham.
And they're threatening to kill him the whole fucking time.
Rosita was out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Sasha.
Sasha was out there. And they RPG'd him.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't view these people as good people, but, you turn it around, what would an encounter from the other side look like?
Sure.
If they were just rolling down the road on their motorcycles and Daryl and Abraham pulled up with an RPG and said, drop your weapons to neutralize a threat.
Or we're going to take all your weapons.
Yeah. Like, you can kind of see it both ways, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily black and white. And I think they've done a pretty good job at showing that this season.
I agree.
I mean, for all the moralizing that's happened,
sure,
there is a point in there. And it's a fairly interesting, nuanced one.
Yep. Suddenly they get flanked by like 5 dudes, and then equally suddenly Dwight shows up holding his gun tree frog style. I mean, it's like he's trying to mind meld with the gun, Horta and Spock style. Now, I actually looked up, and there is a thing called point style.
Point style.
Where you you lay your finger along the barrel of the gun, and you work the trigger with your middle finger, because it's a natural form. Like, everyone's good at pointing at stuff. Like, if you point at something with your finger, usually you're aiming right at it. And I guess this is a style. It's kind of an archaic style, but this is a style that's... But the thing is his grip's still all wrong, because his finger's not going along the barrel. It's the axis. It's actually pointed at like a 45 degree. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, maybe there is a finger pointing gun style, or maybe this guy is just holding the gun like a complete jackass.
The world's been turned upside down. You experiment. You find out, like, maybe the old world didn't have the grips right.
Sure.
Maybe there's a better way.
Somebody at one point decided, you know what? I'm going to start holding my gun, turn 90 degrees, gangster style.
Exactly.
Boom.
Maybe go all the way upside down. I don't know.
Rick's got the famous hand up, point down style.
Shoot from the head.
Yeah, like shoot from the... So maybe the zombie apocalypse
shoot from the crown.
It's just a chance to freestyle with your firearms.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But I thought it was the most fucking ridiculous thing I've seen, and a hero shot to boot. Like,
there's no right way to hold a gun, just the wrong way that doesn't pull you down.
oh, Jesus. Anyway, next scene, Rick and Morgan are keeping on tracking Carol. They talk about Rick's new thinking about the prison. So this was actually somewhat shocking. Rick, at this point in his development, would have thanked Carol for doing the necessary thing and killing these people.
Yeah, he's really come around.
That's Captain Hindsight, 100%.
Yeah, ex-gun farmer Rick,
Yes.
like, left that in his past.
Now that I know the entire prison essentially died because of the whatever shitstorm flu they got, but still, I thought it was kind of interesting that he's completely come around and he would have not only not banished her, but given her a promotion.
Right.
Or an attaboy, an attagirl. They wander to a farm and they find what appears to be a man in a full body riot gear, similar to what they had at the prison, wielding a spear. Rick tries to shoot the guy when he won't put his spear down, and Morgan knocks his aim off as the man takes advantage of a sudden zombie group to flee. Rick asserts that this guy has yet another spear from Hilltop, just like the Saviors, and therefore it's good enough for being a savior to him. Anything you want to add to this scene?
I mean, this is where a lot of Morgan's explaining of himself comes in, yeah? Or is it later on?
I think it's actually this scene.
There's some of it here and some
I actually
later
broke
on.
that into a separate part of my notes. That
Okay.
So at this point, Morgan reveals all the bullshit that went on with the captive wolf, and I love how Rick plays this. How Andy Lincoln plays this, like just kind of like disbelief,
Yeah.
like slack-jawed amazement.
He's like trying to make up his mind on this.
I don't think he was giving his point of view much thought at all.
Really?
I took it as just like, man, you're my friend, and that's the only reason I'm not pistol whipping every tooth out of your mouth right now.
Yeah, it sucks because Carol is, even when she tries to leave the group and go out on her own, she's still a liability to the group, right? Like
They also talk about how she might be near death because she's still alive. Rick actually points out that she might have died and not stuck around, implying that she's zombified and hauled out. But there's like as much blood as she's lost and as big as this trail is that, you're looking to find a very weakened Carol, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's also good that she is still willing to kill, right? She hasn't come around completely to Morgan's side, because imagine Morgan in that situation where he gets accosted by 5 guys on the road.
Yeah.
They're headed back to Alexandria and want to use him as a bargaining chip to get in the door.
I don't know what he does.
He doesn't kill, so he gets taken hostage. I mean, that's the only outcome of that, unless he staffs all these people to death,
Maybe
or to unconsciousness.
Like I said, because like. That's the problem with his theory is if he is then used as a bargaining chip to let them in the walls and then they kill everyone in Alexandria, then how much precious life did you save, asshole?
Right.
Anyway.
So it's a good thing that Carol is still willing to kill. Otherwise, she would have put everybody at risk.
What do you think Morgan... Because the other thing I didn't agree with is he's like, I saved the wolf, Denise tried to save the wolf saved Denise, and then Denise saved Carl. And if I hadn't done all that, Carl would have died. I'm like, whoa.
Life's a circle.
Your chain of logic is faulty, because it could be that Denise would have been safe and sound cowering in her house during this whole assault.
Yep, he's got a very...
I mean, if fucking Patricia, the pantry counter, survived... I believe that Denise could have survived. The only reason she is out running around the muck in the middle of the walkers needing to be saved by the wolf is the fact that you brought her there in the first place, asshole. So you can't take credit for that.
Sure. No, that's absolutely valid. And I mean, at this point, they just need to start... Look, you can license a Johnny Cash song. I know you can license an Elton John song. Just do it. Lion King it up. The circle of life.
Of life.
I mean, that's what he's talking about here. It's weird because, like... I take his point, though, right? You don't really know what effect your actions will have.
No.
And until they have those consequences, until they're realized, how do you judge whether it was a good thing or a bad thing?
I just didn't like how he laid out the sequence of events as if it was an equation and is like QED, Rick. When I'm like, yeah.
He's giving one example of how something he did couldn't have been predicted.
Yeah.
That's his bigger point, is not that, like, this chain led exactly to where I thought it would,
right?
But more like I had no idea where this was going to go, and it worked out.
Yeah, but it seems like that's an argument to never take action ever,
right?
Because then you might be responsible for something bad happening.
To do whatever the fuck you want.
Sure.
Right? Because anything is justifiable if you just throw your hands up and say, well, you don't know what's going to happen.
Which is almost a wolfish philosophy, and I don't understand why he can't see that. He's just on the a different side of the coin from the wolves.
Yeah, he's just made a different judgment about it.
This protein bar, it's just a gag at this point, right?
Oh yeah,
I guess it's something for the audience to point and mug about. So he volunteers to go off after Carol and says, and Rick asks with some concern, "Are you coming back?" Because I thought like, okay, well maybe he finds Carol and then they just fuck off together. He says, "Yeah, I'm going to come back, but if I don't come back, don't come looking for me."
Which is exactly what Carol said.
Yes,
don't come looking for me.
Which means I think Abraham and Sasha and Maggie come looking for him next episode.
Right. Because the rest of the town has to leave.
That would only be logical.
Carl and Judith can protect the town.
Sure.
Gabriel, is he going to protect the town?
Well, he shoulders a rifle well.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can do.
Sure.
I wouldn't call him one of their best fighters, though.
No, God, no.
Rick arrives back and finds out everybody's still gone, including Michonne, which has him really, really, trying to swallow his Adam's apple there. Abraham talks about, the fear of letting someone close and losing someone and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But then he asserts that allowing his heart to love again has rekindled his desire to tear the world a new asshole, which that's kind of Carol's point. You're afraid to lose. And I think that's also what Rosita said. You find someone that's important to you or some reason to die for, and then it makes you want to live that much more. Like that's
right.
The same damn point that they've made a couple times this season already.
Sure.
So Maggie calls in Enid for one more favor. I need you to take my shift. I need you to cut my hair. And she explains it because she has to keep going, and I don't want anything getting in my way.
What do you think of Maggie's haircut?
She's. I can't imagine you could shave her head and she'd still look attractive.
Yeah, it's tough to make.
Newsflash: attractive people are attractive, and she could. I can't imagine what she could do and not look attractive.
Yeah.
So that doesn't.
Carve a big W in her forehead, maybe. I don't know.
She might start a trend in Alex. It was like, look at Maggie rocking that W. I'm going to carve one in my head.
So first Eugene, now Maggie.
Yeah.
We've got the makeover police in town. Who gets it next, and what do they look like?
Well, Eugene's a faux makeover. He just tied his mullet into a ponytail.
He's in Fuck, I've lost all ability to speak. He's in the process of a makeover.
Maybe I've gained it. Maybe we've had a transition of power here.
He's in the process of a makeover. His is just less immediate.
Okay.
But someone else has got to get it, the makeover. I think Daryl's in desperate need of a makeover.
Well, my take is the haircut is so god-awful that Enid gave her that it triggers a miscarriage. And, her baby doesn't want to live in her body with this crappy of a haircut. And it wants out. You're all on the zombie baby.
Oh, yeah.
Which
chew your way out, baby. Chew and claw your way out.
What is this baby like the size of her thumb?
I know. With what teeth? With what fingernails?
With what? I might not even have limbs at this point. I know. It's still probably got a tail.
I know it's impossible, but I'm still my fingers crossed for a zombie baby.
I'm sure it wouldn't. It probably would be a different medical complication to have some dead thing inside you squirming around, but it's not going to chest burst her out. It's just not.
Of course not. But
although
fuck,
this show might do it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's a crisis. That is a definite crisis if you want to keep a baby and you've got no doctor at all. Quick, get her an apple. Maybe that'll cure what ails her.
Yep.
Daryl sneaks up on Dwight's camp, but somehow Daryl, the master tracker in full backwoods ninja mode, is fucking ambushed by goddamn Froggy-style gun-holding Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
And then to add insult to injury, Dwight shoots him in presumably the shoulder.
Yeah, we don't see his head explode, and it's on screen the entire time, so that's good news, but
I'm surprised.
He definitely gets shot.
Alan Sepinwall, did you read his review?
Huh.
He's rage quit the show. He says he's going to watch the finale, and then that's the last Walking Dead he plans on covering.
Nah. He'll be back.
I don't know. I feel like
back.
He's been looking for an excuse for a while now, and I'm surprised he's kept going.
I don't buy it. He works for HitFix, and HitFix is too big of an outlet, and this is too big of a show for him to rage quit. And they're just going to suck him back in with the finale. You know they are. Although I hear some things that don't give me a lot of confidence, but
Oh, really?
that's the plan, right? Suck the audience back in with the finale.
Yeah. No, I just...
And it always happens.
Do you because his opinion also I thought was interesting that with him shooting and the blood splashing the camera,